Hi, I'm Elisa and this is my story of answered prayer. I have a husband, he's called Sam, and it's both of our stories and we're happy to share it with you today. So basically we got married in April 2014 and we were obviously really excited to start our journey into married life and surprisingly 3 months later we got pregnant for the first time. We weren't expecting this, so it was a happy surprise, and we went 12 weeks into our pregnancy. Everything went fine, everything was smooth, and we all of a sudden got a big shock of miscarrying that baby at 12 weeks. And this was devastating for us, and we didn't expect it at all. It was a massive shock, and we were quite young at the time, so hadn't really been through something quite traumatic before. And so it was a big journey from there, really, of 5 years of unfortunately losing 4 babies. So throughout that journey of the 5 years, every year we'd get pregnant and unfortunately miscarry. It also took us quite a while to get pregnant, so they called it sub-infertility, where throughout the years we were watching our friends kind of felt like it was going ahead of us, and we were almost quite isolated. And whilst we were so happy for our friends and family having babies and having that to celebrate, we still felt quite in the dark and in the unknown. So throughout these 5 years, we were referred to the hospital, and they were absolutely brilliant with us. There's a charity called Tommy's, and they deal with parents that have lost babies, and they are so supportive and so loving that I truly believe, I truly believe God put them there in our lives without them even realising. And I'm not sure whether they're Christians, but they really showed us love that we needed and understanding. So it got to our 4th try of having a baby, and we were given a medication this time to help us conceive faster. And we got to 12 weeks, and it was a brilliant scan. The heartbeat was there, which is what we always looked for. But unfortunately there was a bit of a discrepancy, an anomaly within the scan, and the baby's bladder was too large. So that meant that the baby wasn't releasing fluid, and therefore it couldn't feed or couldn't survive within the womb. However, there was a operation that could help with this. It was risky because obviously it's an operation with the baby in the womb, but we wanted to go for every chance possible to try and help this baby to survive. So we were referred to the Birmingham Children's Hospital. We were about 15 weeks at this point. The heartbeat was still there, and so we were really hopeful, and we got to the hospital, had the scan to try and help us know what to do with the operation, and unfortunately the heartbeat wasn't there. So because we were so far along at this point, I got to about 16 weeks, we had to give birth in hospital. So that in itself was just so surreal and so heart-wrenching. And when we gave birth in the hospital, they were incredible. We were able to hold our baby. We knew it was a boy, and we were able to name him Josiah Isaac, which means God has healed, or God has made whole, and Isaac means God lifts or God raises. And I remember coming home after the birth, and obviously those feelings of grief and loss are so at the forefront of your mind, really. But I just remember seeing a picture of Jesus with 3 other children circling and skipping around him and him holding up a baby. And we just knew that he'd be safe and that we'd meet him again one day. So obviously throughout these years we were going through a lot of pain and unanswered questions, really. But the one thing that really stood out to us, every step of the way, we knew God was with us, and it was so hard to explain to our friends or family that didn't know God that we knew it wasn't him putting this on us, and we knew he was with us in it. And through the suffering, he was surrounding us and loving on us. And every day we always say it was a choice to choose God, and it is a choice, and we chose him because we knew that he meant love and he meant healing, and we knew he was for us and not against us. So we continued, and the hospital gave us an option of IVF. And considering we had sub-infertility, so a few struggles with conceiving, we thought we'd go for it, and we truly believe God put IVF in our path, really, to make it a smoother journey for us. And so we ended up getting pregnant the first time with the IVF, which is amazing. And we got pregnant with a boy, and it was the smoothest, happiest pregnancy that anyone could ever wish for. And I ended up giving birth in February 2020. It was the 10th of February, which was the same anniversary of our opening of our coffee shop, which was amazing, really. We felt like that was really significant because opening our coffee shop was also an answer to prayer. So we had a lot of our friends that weren't Christians ask us, where is God in this? And you're praying throughout all these years, where is he? And why isn't he answering your prayers? And also in terms of having IVF, they were saying, oh, it was successful because it's scientific and it's the science behind that's in the world. And we obviously couldn't answer why we didn't have every prayer answered, but we always knew our hope was in God. We always knew he was there, but also we know that God placed science in our path. We know that God was in putting IVF into our journey, and we felt that strongly, and we even prayed for that at points. So throughout this whole journey, there's been so many little prayers answered, so many people in the science world put into our lives to help us, and sometimes I don't even think they realised it, but having that in our lives, we believe, was our answered prayer, and it's got us to where we are now and having such a beautiful little boy.